Hey everybody, this is comedian Big Jay Oakerson, and you're listening to The Barn.
Hello and welcome from The Barn Studio Live. The Barn with the Mox and Chuck. And Chuck, we got a special guest online. We got Big Jay Oakerson coming to town this weekend. Big Jay, how are you, my man?
I'm doing good. Getting ready to come to St. Louis. Hopefully have a good, only my second time in the city, so this is exciting for me.
Is that right?
That's wild.
That's kind of, I would have expected different as long as you've been around and all the touring that you do.
Oh, wait, you know what? It's the second time I've been at this club. That's not true. Years ago, when I first started, a comedian named D. Lee had a club down there. And but then he never paid anybody and it shut down.
Yeah, you got to do that, right?
That's bad memories. Yeah, these are new memories I'm making.
Yeah, you got to pay the talent. We can't wait to catch you. You're going to be at Helium Thursday through Saturday, and I think the Barn's going to be at that late show. We can't wait to catch your set. You know, obviously, been in the stand-up comedy world and in the comedy world for a long time, and we appreciate you coming to town. We can't wait to see you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited too. I got to see something, Mom. What's the big St. Louis food I got to try? No one's ever told me. Okay.
So toasted raviolis. Have you ever heard of those?
Yeah. That's St. Louis's thing.
Yeah. That and deli. That's it. That's all. That's our claim to fame.
Louis style pizza.
Toasted ravioli. I don't know why it's not what I would have thought it would have been. I thought it would have been closer to barbecue.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of a barbecue scene, but you know, we're kind of almost in the middle of like Kansas City and Memphis. So I think we get overlooked at times.
Do you have a low Italian content, so that's your middle finger to them, toasting their raviolis?
We murder a lot. That's what we do in St. Louis. That's our claim to fame.
Yeah. I think it's the highest.
Oh, yeah, that's where I'm familiar with you guys.
That's it, murder. Yes.
But you're in a pretty safe part of town, and Helium Club's a great club. I know they have several throughout the nation, but yeah, we're going to be at the late show. I mean, you're a busy man. I mean, is there any podcast that you're not on? You got Legion of Skanks, the Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, and then obviously you're the Bonfire on Sirius XM. You stay behind the mic quite a bit.
I really do. It's amazing by the weekend that I'm able to keep talking, but we pull it off somehow. Yeah, no, I love it. I really do love broadcast. To me, it's just an extension of stand-up comedy, sort of. You know, you guys get it. It's kind of in the moment. You get to say things and get immediate reactions from people, which is dangerous also sometimes.
Right.
I'm working for, the podcast world is kind of our own to do with what we want. So Sirius XM, we have to play by some rules. And yeah, let's just say I'm the one who's had to be talked to a lot.
How in the world do you I've heard your comedy, man. How in the world do you juggle that? That's got to be tough.
And stand-up comedy?
Well, I mean, juggle rules with what you do normally.
Oh, yeah, it's a dicey game, but I do pull off. So it's also a good skill to have to, where you can't go quite as far. And then it also makes for kind of each one of my projects in its own way are very defined then too. I know what I can do on Sirius XM and sort of what I can't. I have to play in those kind of parameters, which is kind of neat because then when I do Legion of Skanks podcast, we go for it on that one. So it's which subjects are for that show or not.
You spend so much of your time behind the mic and doing, obviously comedy, but broadcasting as well. How do you keep things interesting? Do you find yourself telling old stories that you've told before? How do you have that kind of memory to broadcast as much as you do?
Well, it's not. It is. I do. I don't try to have to retell too many stories on like my show so much. I find when I do other shows, I end up telling stories that I've told on my shows a lot. But that's kind of the nature of what we do, But that's no. The beauty is something ridiculous happens every day. And then with stand up, I kind of rely on. I talk to the crowd a lot and sort of like derive my jokes from that. It reminds me of things or things I say in the moment. So it's not so. If I sit down, anytime I've tried to sit and write jokes in my career, it's when I look at it, it's like, hey, airplane food's crazy. What's with those subways? It ends up being so hacky.
Have you ever ended up saying like one of the stories that's in your stand-up at the time, needed it on the air, you said it on the air and you're like, shit, now I can't say it on the stand-up anymore?
No, almost different. Like sometimes things, because we are talking so freely, that sometimes something I say on a podcast or the radio show will spark me to. So it's almost like they hear the birth of it, and then it kind of grows on stage.
Oh, that's interesting.
So do you follow that sort of traditional stand-up model of, write material, work it out in the smaller clubs than maybe the bigger clubs, and then, some kind of special, whether it's, broadcast somewhere or even on YouTube, and then you're done with that material? Or how does that work for you? What's your process like?
So for me personally, I have a special coming out in April that I shot at our festival, Skankfest in Vegas. And that's going to be on YouTube. I mean, which seems to be, again, I've been doing this for a long time too, so I'm trying to learn what the new things are and a YouTube special wasn't a thing when I started to even to look to achieve.
Yeah.
And now it's like, it's almost a way to do it. You self-produce things now. But as far as I sitting down and like writing stuff and the turnover, I try never to do two shows exactly the same. Like as I build material, I kind of have to build it on the road now. The smaller clubs here in the city, I'll try to get up once in a while, but again, as we said, with my broadcasting schedule, I'm not getting on stage in the small clubs too much in New York anymore, but I'm on the road doing at least 5 hours of comedy every weekend. And my crowd that I've kind of cultivated, which is great, like they like that I go up there and like, I play around with the audience most of the show and try to find it through that. And then, each show I'll do like a handful of, a couple of the jokes that I have, like newer things, and I try to space them out. For years and years, I was kind of just tucked away at the clubs in New York, doing, just the weekend and weekday spots in the city, which is great that I had the access to that, but I wasn't on the road at all. And I would see the staff of those clubs with the comics who were there like me all the time, like getting so tired of and mouthing the words of people's jokes they've heard 1,000 times.
Oh, wow.
And that used to scare me to like, I'm like, oh man, like, the staff's so nice to me. I hope they don't just, talk bad about me behind my back like that or mouth the words of my jokes. So then I started going to just, doing crowd work on those sets and kind of finding new things from there and like picking like a story to tell and everything else, just kind of making it like fresh on the spot. And I think the crowd's kind of appreciated that. I kind of have like I said, I find I'm to myself at least, much funnier on the fly than heavily prepared.
With all the podcasting and the YouTube and even like the TikTok stuff, it seems like stand-up comedy's changed over the years. Some of these guys that are playing some of these clubs, they're, I would say, mostly known for some of their TikTok material and their, very short material. Is that weird for you to see, kind of coming from a little bit of the old school to seeing what it's like now? And how do you adjust to some of those newer trends?
It's hard. It really is. It's one of the hardest things. Like all social media kind of happened within my career, which is interesting. Kind of watch it. Like how it's grown. TikTok. I don't even have TikTok on my phone. I've had to hire a social media company to do that stuff because I'm not good at it. But yeah, look, it's ahead of the game. I don't know if it always, the problem with it is I don't think the TikTok humor necessarily always translates to stand-up comedy. But I know it's kind of a quick money grab. When you're getting that kind of popularity and following, it's probably hard to say no to at least trying it and making money,
Yeah,
but it was I just know for myself, it was such a process to get to like headlining it all and everything. It's sort of that was sort of the change when I started comedy. The change was, I guess it used to be if you had an hour of jokes, you can hit the road. Somebody would book you to go on the road. Then it became, when I got into comedy, it was more like, well, can you put butts in seats at these places? And now it could be your third time on stage, but if you're going to put butts in seats, like it almost has nothing to do with being prepared for the job itself, other than getting people to buy drinks, which, it is the bar business. So I do get it.
Yeah. We got to bring it up. We know you're a Philly guy. Has your city recovered yet from the Super Bowl loss?
I don't know. I haven't been there. It was the first Super Bowl I ever got to go to, so that was very exciting.
Oh, wow. You went to it?
I got to go. Burt Kreischer invited me kind of last minute to go, and it was such an opportunity. But, man, I will say, if I paid for those tickets, I would not have recovered yet.
Man, what do you think about, do you have optimism for the future? I mean, I know obviously you guys lost, but you guys look pretty damn good, and the team is pretty stacked.
They're in that perfect window of they're paying their quarterback nothing right now.
Yeah.
So they can build up everything else. So when you got to pay the quarterback, that's when it gets all fucked up.
Yeah. But Jalen Hurts looked phenomenal.
Yeah. No, I think he's the guy for sure. Hopefully we keep him for a long time. We'll see. The Eagles have a real penchant for blowing it right when it's getting good.
I had seen Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports. He was kind of going around saying, I've never seen Eagles fans this optimistic about the Super Bowl. And he's like, that gives me a little bit of scare on my betting. And I kind of agree. What was your sense going into it?
I'll tell you how I felt. I was nervous because I was so confident that it was going to be, I thought, not an easy win, but I thought we were definitely going to win. And because of that, I almost had more confidence in the 2017 Super Bowl because, I think the underdog story is always the one that plays out better.
Yeah.
And what I said when we were going to that game, I was like, all I see is a poster of Patrick Mahomes limping on one foot, just putting one right in Kelsey's chest to win the game. And it's not exactly what happened, but it sort of is what happened.
Yeah, you pretty much called that. I saw that interview. We saw that interview with you on the Fitzdog Radio, Greg Fitzsimmons podcast, and you were kind of you pretty much called how it went.
Did Burt get you better seats than Sanchez did? That's a great story, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he really did. More than the quarterback for the team.
There's not much about Sanchez that ended just tragedy.
If you're ever out there listening, know that I still am angry.
For those that haven't heard it, you got to check out Fitzdog Radio when you guys were chatting on there. You're talking about how Mark Sanchez, who played for the Eagles, I didn't even realize he played for the Eagles.
Hell, I forgot too.
Couldn't have been that long, right?
He came in. He was backup. He came in for a half a season when the quarterback got hurt.
Oh, okay.
Well, shows how much the team cared about him.
I think it was Sam. I forget his name now. He was a quarterback for a little bit for the Eagles too. So he used to be on the
Rams.
He went to the Rams.
Yeah, Sam.
What's his name?
Bradford. Yeah, Bradford.
Sam Bradford. Yeah. Sam Bradford went down, and he came in. Mark Sanchez, and I happen to know the guy that was his tight end on the Jets. Yeah. And he said Mark Sanchez would get me tickets, and he got me standing at the top of the stadium.
I think the funniest...
Standing. No seat. Nowhere to sit.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think the funniest part of that story was you had better tickets already, and you gave them away to somebody else.
And then later the long snapper got you better tickets than the quarterback. So shit.
Yeah.
Jesus,
everybody, the quarterback of the team got me the worst tickets I've ever gotten for free in my life.
There's nothing about Sanchez that's not a comedy, man. I swear to God, that guy.
Yeah, what a career.
Butt fumble, man. I'll never forget butt fumble.
Jesus Christ, man.
Him and Matt Leinart were the two people I've never heard anybody say how good of a quarterback they were. It was always about how handsome they were.
Yeah,
both strikingly handsome guys. This is The Barn. We're joined here by Big Jay Oakerson. We're going to be checking him out at the Helium Comedy Club in St. Louis, Missouri, Thursday through Saturday. You got to come. You got to see the stand-up comedy. That's a great club. We can't wait to have you in town, Big Jay.
Oh, I'm excited to come, man. I'm on a plane tomorrow morning. I'll be there.
Jay, can I ask one question? I got to ask this, man. Okay, when you're waiting, it was just based on that the Fitzsimmons interview. When you were gritting your teeth, waiting for your name to come up on Stern, we're big Stern guys too. And then he said, "No, don't say his name." Oh my God, I could not imagine the deflation I would feel in my my body.
I was so deflated.
Oh.
And then I spoke to, I think Will, one of his producers, called me to kind of hear the story, to see if they were going to have me on with, I think, Craig Gass to tell the story, and then they ended up not going with it. Since I said Doug Stanhope and Dave Attell have said my name on the show, but
oh, sweet.
No, still haven't gotten on yet. This is the last ditch effort.
Yeah.
And you do the Bonfire, your Comedy Central radio show, Monday through Thursday. Do you guys record that in the morning, and that allows the ability for you to travel? Because I know you play a lot of weekends.
No, so what we do is we record it. We go live Monday at 5 to 7. Tuesday we come in early and we do a pre-record episode for Thursday, and then the rest of the shows are live. We do Tuesday live, at 5 and Wednesday live at 5.
Very
Eastern.
cool.
Sweet.
It seems like that is perfect for what your probably pretty standard schedule is with playing weekends in the clubs.
Yep. Yeah, no, it lines up perfect, which is nice. But so everybody gets to hear me all week, and then I come to a town near you.
We can't wait. Big Jay Oakerson, You Gotta Want It tour, Helium Comedy Club, St. Louis, Missouri, this Thursday through Saturday. The barn is going to be at the Late Show on Saturday. Come say hi to us. Big Jay, we'll get you some toasted ravioli sent your way, okay?
Hell yeah. I'll see you guys this weekend.
All right, man. Take care.
Take care, guys.